I'm in communication with a lot of former and current radio people who wouldn't know a hit if it slapped them in the face, and how they can ignore hits today is
Yeah.
is absolutely beyond me. I
What's
think,
interesting is back then it was all about melody and lyrics, and now it seems like those things don't matter.
yeah, but I may have mentioned it to you before. But when I hear somebody like on American Idol, Philip Phillips,
Hmm.
sing Home, I knew that was a hit, and it will be a hit if they ever get around to releasing it. As it is, it's the most downloaded song on iTunes of all the singles. So that makes good sense. But I don't find the radio people being interested in that being a hit. I hear a lot of radio people who uh, condemn, like, Clear Channel Broadcasting or this channel broadcasting, powerhouses that own five, six, seven stations in one particular market, and how bad they are. But these are the same people who are working for companies that are backed by the Bain Corporation, but you never hear them speak out.
Yeah.
You know, you would think that a group of radio people, if they really loved radio, would happen to mention that somebody who is running for the presidency
Is
headed
basic.
up a company that was just
Yeah.
primed for destroying the radio industry in so many markets.
That's what happened. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital,
Mitt
he
who?
he's no longer the CEO of that company, but he left in the late '90s. But I'm sure he makes residuals off that now. Basically, Bain Capital bought Clear Channel in 2007. So the question is, you know, is ownership of radio what's crippling it? The types of owners.
I think the people in radio are what's crippling it,
Hmm.
because there's very few.
You mean the decision makers?
The decision makers and the decision takers
Hmm.
are both to blame, uh, because they're just. I hear things about people who are in radio who are now working for a half to a third to a quarter of what they made before, rather than going out and getting a job.
Yeah.
You know, well, I love it for the fact it's the radio and radio's in my blood. Well, how can you stand by there and watch Bain Capital do what they have done, and such indecision within the music industry that you don't know what's going on television right before your very eyes, and you don't know what the talent is of today, and you don't support that by paying $1.20 to iTunes for the song. I don't understand that. You know, I can understand uh, Clear Channel Broadcasting coming in and listening to a bunch of crap radio and crappy people who are putting it all together and saying, why am I paying thousands of dollars every month to this when I can have a machine over here that'll do it for 1/10 of the cost? And it basically comes out as a wash,
A jukebox.
a jukebox. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. And they say, well, people listen strictly for the music. No, I don't agree with that. They're listening to stations for the music of it because the stations aren't offering anything more. If the stations were entertaining, if the stations uh, had good reason to listen to them, I'm sure people would. But as it stands right now, I can't name you five radio stations, nor can I name five disc jockeys or air personalities, as they'd like to be called, uh, anywhere around here.
I agree. I can't come up with that list either of, say, like favorites. You know, I might know some people, but it doesn't mean I'm like a fan of their show. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing in radio these days that blows me away where I feel I have to listen. Whereas back in the day, back in the golden era, and to let you know, I actually didn't start listening to radio till about '74, but I have heard air checks of earlier stuff. But about '74 through I don't know, late '90s maybe, it just seemed like a different era than now. It seems like two different eras to me. Eh,
Well, we have so many choices to go
Yeah.
to today. I can go to my television set right now
Yeah,
and pull up 50 channels of Sirius, pull out another 20 or 30 channels of CD music. I can do that all right now. I can go to my computer and find another 150 radio stations before you can blink an eye, basically.
does that dilute the importance of every single
Sure,
program?
it makes it difficult for you to find something that you want to listen to,
Hmm.
because I wonder if I'm missing something. I'm listening to Charlie Brown by the Coasters
Yeah,
on a oldies but goodies station.
yeah.
But what am I missing amongst the other 3,000
Lots and
stations?
lots of duplication.
Lots and lots of duplication, right? And very little that goes on with it besides that. Now, in all fairness, I have not invested in Sirius
Right.
for my home
Right.
because I don't get that much chance to listen to radio. It's not that important to me anymore.
And plus, why pay extra money when you have all those other channels for free?
Yeah, well, maybe there's something on Sirius that I'd really like to hear. I haven't found it so far,
Hmm.
and don't know anything about it so far. But there's very little that I'd like to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big change since those good old days.
Well, we tore that subject apart.
We just
I want to
basically
commit suicide.
we fast forwarded from 60s, 70s to now, and that's appropriate because here we are looking back on all of it.
I worked with a guy by the name of Ted Donay at one time, and this is during the 50s. And he was a DJ who came on and he was playing records backwards and he was just doing outrageous things and generated an audience. Deep inside of my heart, I know there's another Ted Donay out there somewhere who's going to land a gig at a radio station, and I'm going to hear about him and listen to him. And I'm going to tell my friends, and they're going to start listening to him. And maybe we can get the movement moved again. As it sits right now, we're just in a lull, on pause.
Lots of exciting technology, though.
We got great technology, more than we know what to do with. Yeah, I can't keep up with it.
That's the one thing I think that's going to save all this. The whole thing about music is I do think that the new technology, especially mobile technology, is going to create this rebirth of rediscovery of all the things that fell between the cracks over the years, and that people are going to just be empowered by making their own choices. But they need something in between the technology and the mobile that narrows down the choices, in a custom type of way, customized way.
I think you're going to find it's closer than you think. A customization of KROY. You'll hear from Bob Sherwood again, and you'll hear from Wonder Rabbit again. And Wonder Rabbit will be talking about the things that he's interested in, both then and now, and how they relate. And I'll be there, and Gene Lane will be there, and that may be your cup of tea at the time. Now, if you can imagine, and to fast forward that, if you were a fan of KFRC in San Francisco,
I was. Late
you'll
70s.
have your own station that you can listen to at all times. It'll become that localized, so it's just personal to you. That's going to be an interesting day, but we have the bandwidth, we have the talent. Now we just have to learn how to put it all together. I'm sure there's a white horse somewhere.
I'm sure there are people working on that as we speak. Johnny Hyde, been great talking with you.
It's good to talk to you.
All right.
Thank you for visiting.